Hi everyone, I'm Tyler Pittman, Ag Natural Resources Extension Agent in Gilchrist County, and we're here today doing our 2021 virtual peanut field day, and we're in the greenhouse with our regional row crop extension agent, Dee Broughton. We're looking at a pH peanut trial that she's got running here in the greenhouse and out in the field. So Dee, can you tell us a little bit about why you're running a pH study on peanuts?
Sure, yes. So over the past few years, we've run into issues. Commercial growers have experienced something called late season peanut decline. Our earlier planted peanuts appeared to be safe from that, but as the heat amped up towards the end of the season, later in the season, peanuts started to deteriorate for unknown causes. Some of it looked like nutrient deficiencies were taking place, and in other cases it was a uniform collapse that may have been associated with a hurricane that passed through or extreme disease pressure. But so with all of these different things and all these different questions surrounding like collapse and different factors that seem to be influencing the collapse, we as a team, Northeast District Extension Group, decided to initiate something called a peanut survey project where we collect data on farms to try to correlate things, and some of those data that we collected would be water samples from irrigation well water, diagnostic samples like sent off to the disease and nematode lab, tissue analysis, soil analysis, and that type of thing. We would take good soil, good tissue, bad tissue. But the one thing that seemed to show a correlation among all locations where we had decline was really high pH well water. And well water that had high carbonates, high bicarbonates, and calcium levels. And so with our lime rock terrain and parent material, it made sense, that there could potentially be some issues associated with our well water. So the investigation surrounds that topic in particular.
Okay, that's great, Dee. For a lot of our producers here in the Suwannee Valley who may have participated in the peanut disease survey, this is one of those tangible things that's coming from that. And if you're one of our producers watching this field day that hasn't participated, make sure you get in touch with your county agent, and they'll help you if you have peanut problems and just aren't sure what's going on with it. So Dee, we know this is a pH study on peanuts because of irrigation water. Can you explain to us a little bit about what's going on here with all these peanuts and these different barrels in the background?
Sure. So so part of the methods behind this, we collected soil from a problematic field that have had decline more than 1 year in a row. So we have field soil in some of these are called rhizotron boxes, and they have a wooden pane. You can slide them up and examine the roots and observe the root system at any given time. So we have growers soil, poor soil, and then we have builder sand as a control. And so those are the two types of soil medium that we're using. The treatments include regular high pH well water with no treatment, just high pH like around an 8.
Okay.
And then we're neutralizing that pH with infuric acid, and we're measuring, there are two different treatments with infuric, are a reduced pH to a 6 and another one to a 4 to see if we need to lower the pH even more to create that buffering effect to see a plant response or positive response under high pH conditions. Another treatment that we're doing is an induced high pH to exaggerate a high pH to see if we can get extreme plant response, just to see and observe those nutrient deficient types of symptoms, so that we will know that it's in fact because of high pH and nutrient types associated with that. So that essentially is it, and we're doing that among those two soil types. In addition to that, there's one soil amendment that we're using. Dr. David Wright is also involved in this study, and he recommended using a soil amendment. It's an iron chelate, it's a EDDHA, and it's a foliar type of amendment or fertilizer, and it's for calcareous soils, so it seemed to fit this project as well. So one of the treatments are associated with that particular amendment. Measurements to collect will be biomass. We'll take photos of the root systems, and the plant will measure canopy height and those types of things, yield information, and quality of the pods as well in the end to see if there are differences.
Great, Dee. That's going to be some invaluable information for our Suwannee Valley peanut producers, because you know, as a county agent, we've seen firsthand what's going on with that peanut disease survey and the collapses, and how irrigation water pH can change over the span of a month or two in the season, especially when everyone's really irrigating. So we really appreciate you joining us on this stop of our 2021 virtual peanut field day. And hopefully you can stick around and see the rest, and stay tuned below this video and with your favorite IFAS communication outlets for updates on this project and a whole bunch of others that Dee and other specialists have going on here at the Research Center in Live Oak.
Thank you, Tyler.